Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma, on a very special day, not just in the Treehouse, but in the O'Malley house, because not only have we had electricity now for 12 hours plus straight.
Yay!
The only thing that could put us on a higher cloud is the joy that my wife is currently experiencing. I don't know how it is in your relationship, Raj, or Trey, in your previous relationships, but there seems to be no greater feeling in a home than when the missus is proved right.
Oh,
yeah.
Not that the proof was necessary, but the proof is good, and it is just, and it is empowering, because with every time one is declared correct or right, it emboldens you, right? So now imagine you are right hundreds of times over. You're going to have quite a bit of confidence in your intuition, your suspicions, all these things, right? Now imagine you are right 100+ times over on just one instance. And you will maybe start to understand a sliver of a fraction of a morsel of a nugget of the joy my wife is currently experiencing for being right.
What were you wrong about?
Wait. You wait. I don't like your assumption, sir.
I'll stand by it, though.
This is one time you should olay that assumption, because in this instance, I am not wrong. Okay?
You said it with confidence, so
I am not wrong in this instance. I am on her side the whole way through.
Okay,
gotcha. So you're riding her right.
Yes,
gotcha.
Like a magic carpet ride.
Oh, you said that to an Indian. Wow. Okay.
I got to take him where I can. It's
yeah.
Anyways, so you guys remember all the troubles we've had with bats, right? Bats among us, bats in our bedroom. And by bats, I mean 2 that we saw fly around the bedroom on 2 separate instances, right? 2 separate incidents of bats flying around the bedroom.
Now, wait. So you had the old place where you had bats, and then you had the hitchhiker stowaway bat that came to your new place.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. As further proof of the infestation of bats in our previous home, right? So that makes 3 instances of bat interactions, right? Which led my wife to contact the bat expert at the University of the Virgin Islands. They have a department, I guess, for flying rodents, and they have a professor. I swear this is like a horror movie first act where something happens, you get your inciting incident, and to help explain it, you got to go to the local university to find the expert that just happens to be the expert of that thing in that small town. And that's what my wife did. She contacted the bat expert at the University of the Virgin Islands. And this morning, my wife and Batwoman drove to the house we used to live in to investigate the bat infestation.
So she's only scared of them at night.
My wife?
Yes.
No, I think she'd be, afraid of them during the day when they're flying around her head at 1,000,000 miles per hour.
Isn't that what they would be doing if you drove to them?
Well, you have to drive. If you're going to investigate the bats, you can't do it from, 4 miles away. You have to actually go where the bats are, Raj. Yeah.
So she's okay. Yeah.
So Tara and the bat expert that I've dubbed Batwoman drive to the house that we used to live, where the bats still reside. And they proceed with an investigation into the bats. And I know my wife was right because I heard the bats, not as loudly as she did over the months that we lived there, but I also heard them. They were loud. And you could tell that there was more than one. And then you had the 3 different instances of bats flying around our bedroom. And so we needed the expert. You need the expert to come out because sometimes these creatures might be protected and you don't want to do anything that might get you in trouble. So Tara and the bat expert go to where we used to live for the bat investigation with the landlord. Okay. And not only does the bat expert say, yeah, you got bats, but she says, you don't just have a few bats. You don't have a handful of bats. You don't have several bats, which as we know in the treehouse is 7. You have hundreds of bats. It turns out for 6 months, my wife and I were living in a bat cave.
You are Batman.
I'm not, at least not knowingly.
I mean,
accidental Batman.
One could say you were living in a bat cave for years.
Yeah. But that was a figurative bat cave. Now my life has transitioned from figurative into literal living in a bat cave.
Wow.
Here on the island. So it was very interesting to hear the report back as Tara and the university bat expert say that, you weren't just living with like one family. I made this specific note. I was told that they suspect the species of bat that's been tormenting us is the really terrifyingly named velvety free-tailed bat.
Sounds vicious.
Thank you, Trey.
Was adorably lovable taken?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Silky smooth.
They went with velvety. Yeah. Velvety free-tailed bat. Yeah. It doesn't sound like a menacing bat. It sounds like if Barry White was a bat.
Hey, I'm a bat.
So velvety vicious. Something that might make this seem more.
That's a great pimp name, by the way.
Velvety vicious.
What's up, baby? I'm Velvety Vicious. That's what I'm going as for Halloween this year.
So the terrifyingly named velvety free-tailed bat is believed to be the species that was tormenting us during our sleep. And again, this wasn't just a couple of the bats that we saw and not just one family, but the bat expert believes that this is a colony of hundreds of bats, likely all to be females with their babies. In other words, not only were we living in a bat cave, but it was a bat maternity ward, as she called it.
Wow. So what is she going to do with it? Like, how do you, is she going to remove them and like get them to safety or whatever?
The next step for the bat expert is she's now going to pull a Jane Goodall and she's going to go live with them for a bit.
Oh, so she just needs a place to stay.
Yeah, it turns out bat experts don't make a ton of money. She just needs a place to crash. Yeah.
She didn't make tenure.
Were they all residing in the attic?
Yes. So our suspicion, in addition to there being a lot of bats, therefore Tara being right, there was also our suspicion that they were residing in between the corrugated roof and the actual wood ceiling, rafters, right? Wow. So the gap between those two, the gap between the ceiling and the roof, and that is in fact where they were, because they even got a pinhole type camera. The landlord did this and snaked it up in between in that gap and found, what did she say? Generations of bat poop, of guano, generations of guano.
Wow.
In the ceiling. Yeah. Generations.
That's insane. Okay,
yeah.
So she's going to stay with them for a second?
Yeah, so the next thing she's going to do is she's going to go back and she is going to observe them in their natural habitat of the house we used to live in. and so she's going to, observe them coming and going. Everything that Tara told her checked all the boxes for, these are bats, because they would come and go at a certain time. They'd make noises. And the expert was saying, this is, this, everything you're saying makes sense to when the mama bats would come and go and then come home and feed the babies.
Yeah. And they would shit everywhere.
Yeah. Luckily, none of it seeped through the ceiling, so we didn't see it. Although it was really interesting. Tara was saying, as the bat expert climbed up the house steps, she's not also a Spider Woman. Tara said she could smell, the bat expert could smell the bats.
Yes.
What has she accomplished by living with them?
Nothing. Rent free.
It's hard to find long-term rentals here, Trey, and frankly, they're quite expensive. So
I'm surprised this lady's not Indian. I'll stay with them indefinitely. And we would generations of shit. That's what we have here. Generations of poop.
So again, Tara wasn't just right about a handful of bats. She was in fact right.
Yes.
Hundreds of times over on one thing. That's and amazing. Now she's basically going to be the next villain in the Avengers franchise. That's how powerful she's now become on being right so many times in her life, but especially with this one exponential moment. She's Kang.
That's Raj, you're right. This is gonna be the next Netflix special. Curry and guano.
And you'll be right there to watch it with Daisy, Trey.
She's gonna lean over one night and be like, "I was born in darkness," and you're like, "Oh." Wow. Well, good.
I hope the bat expert actually does go around telling people that she was born in darkness.
And this is the University of the Virgin Islands. Is that what you said?
Yeah, real school.
It's not, but okay.
It's a real building. How about that?
Pinocchio is a real boy.
And this is coming from the Southwest Texas grad.
Hey.
It's at least as real as Walden University.
Yes, it's right next to DeVry, so that's good.
I don't think DeVry ever had a bat program.
No, neither does the University of the Virgin Islands. That just sounds like it comes with a margarita machine.
Look, it's on the opposite end of the island from Margaritaville, so no, they're not connected.
It's actually, yeah, okay. So it's a private island. It's nice. It's an all-inclusive university.
7 nights and a degree.
And don't forget about the shows every night.
It's a place where mixology is actually a degree.
And shots at the swim up bar.
What did you graduate with? Mixology from the University of the Virgin Islands.
Seriously, where was that school when it came time to look up universities when we were all in high school? It's like that would have been
the same place it is now. Not real.
It's at the table next to Hogwarts.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Time now to talk to Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration for your free roof inspection and to get yourself on the very important Cook list. 833-COOK-DFW or the website cookdfw.com. It's that time of season, Daniel, and that season is, of course, people on their roofs decorating for the holidays. Many people already have decorated, which means they're going to take them down soon. And is that when they're going to discover that maybe they did little damage to their roof when they put up Santa Claus and his reindeer?
Dan, it is that time of the year. Merry Christmas to you and to everybody listening. And yes, sir, we see a lot of roof damage, especially around the edges of the people's homes. A lot of people will skirt around the sides because they get scared about going too far up, and they kind of hold themselves up around the edge as they're plugging the lights around, or they'll hold the ladder against the side of the roof and it'll damage the shingles all the way around the edges. So there's a lot of things that happen to shingles, and it may not damage it right away enough to leak, but it's going to potentially put it there. So we always suggest having your roof checked out once a year, at least, obviously, for all the weather that we have, but especially if you know you've had people on top of your roof hanging lights or decorations, or you see some shingles that are starting to fold on the corner. So let us come out. Let's do an inspection. May need some minor repairs, but it could save you potentially thousands of dollars later on.
833-COOK-DFW. That's 833-COOK-DFW or that website, cookdfw.com.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Based on the TV show recommendation you just gave me and my wife, I believe we now have a 7th addiction for you, Trey.
Okay.
And that is documentaries.
Ugh.
You are inside this here Treehouse, the documentarian expert. If there is a documentary about something, you know it, you've seen it, you've listened to it, you've watched it, you have consumed it. I think you've reached the end of all the Netflix documentaries, because now you're starting to recommend ones that you're seeing on other platforms. So what's the one that you just told me about?
It's called it's on Disney Hulu. It's called Billy and Molly, an Otter Love Story.
Is this an animated thing, or is this an otter live action?
It's a documentary of about a man who it's in Shetland, England, which I did not know this is the northernmost tip of England, right below the Arctic Circle. It's about this orphaned otter that shows up on his pier, jetty, as they call it. And it really is. It is 80 minutes of just heartwarming, sweet, you laugh a little, you might shed a tear, but it's a happy ending. It's just very few times, like most of the documentaries I watch are like murders, mass murders and stuff, or ancient civilizations. This one was it's just a sweet, nice, 80 minutes of you just feel good at the end and puts a smile on your face.
80 minutes of wholesome.
Yes.
Which is probably a nice break given all the murder and horrific stuff that you typically watch in documentaries.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have, you're I've even subscribed to. There's an app, a channel. I don't even know. I think it's Gaia, Gaia, and it's all about. It's just nothing but documentaries. A lot about ancient civilizations, and I don't get into the UFO stuff a lot, but I am starting to think that our archaeology has not been forthcoming on that there really was another civilization pre-Ice Age.
You think archaeologists know this, and there's been an archaeological conspiracy to cover up a civilization pre-Ice Age?
Yes, because it then.
I'm gone. No. That's too much for me to handle by myself. Raj, please come in here. Trey's going full conspiracy, and I feel like I'm outmanned.
Well, as the science gets and we're dating things better, like we know that there were civilizations, 9 to 11,000 years ago. Now, if you really archaeology, has us go about 5,000 BC is where everything kind of starts, but we know we've dated, we found the remains, and it also goes to the pyramids are always the one thing, such complex engineering.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're to believe that people went from agriculture to building pyramids of incredibly complex engineering.
And so just the size of it, you're right, because it is an interesting leap to make, where you're going from, farmers to basically huge stone metropolises in the middle of the desert. Not only is it an enormous feat of engineering, but who had the idea? Like there's always got to be that guy who had the thought. One day he was hoeing the desert sand, trying to plant some opium or something for his family, and he decides one day, he looks up towards the sky and says, "You know what?" And he looks around the field, he looks around the desert and says, "You know what this place is missing? A big old pyramid." And no one even knew what a pyramid was at that time, but some guy had a thought. Or, like you've been saying throughout the entire history of this Treehouse podcast, they had a little help from above.
Or that there was another civilization that, because think about it, the pyramids, so many of them line up, they're, whether it be the solstice or there is an astronomical, lining up of things that, how did they know? And also the pyramids aren't just like, there's caverns, there's chambers. It's not like they're just solid built. I mean, yeah, if they were just building pyramids that were solid, maybe a different story. But then you also, what did they say? It's like they had, for the timeline that they've suggested, that they were setting 2.5 ton stones once a minute for 20 years.
I don't think there was enough slave labor at the time to really get that done.
Well, they have found, that it wasn't even so much slave labor, that that their encampments that were obviously home to thousands, tens of thousands of people, but that's a lot. And you also have to remember the pyramids in their day had this shiny white stone. They're not like they are today. That's decayed, but they were, almost white.
They were smooth. Yeah,
they were smooth and shiny and white, and are off-white, I guess. But if you see the renderings, but I mean, I think there's more out there. But you think about it, when you go back, if you start resetting dates and going, yeah, well, if what they say was 5,000 years ago was actually 8,000 years ago, it changes the timeline of everything.
Yeah.
And then there's a religious aspect of it too that gets a little dicey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people start wigging out once you start throwing and questioning the timeline of Jesus and stuff.
Well, this goes back to the great, we know there was a great flood, mm-hmm. But if the Bible, technically, they would say 6,000 years ago, when we know it was more 11,000 years ago.
Okay.
So you've got 5,000 years missing.
And that's where the documentaries you watch come into play.
Yeah. And just yeah, and the remarkable the fact that the Mayans, Incas, the similarities between the Egyptians and some of the stuff they did is remarkable. And people don't realize that they had their own, there's a bunch of pyramids in Central and South America.
Yeah. Yeah. This is why I typically
in Louisiana and Ohio.
Say that again.
Yeah. There's pyramids in the United States.
In Mississippi?
I can't remember. It's Eastern Louisiana or Mississippi, but yeah. No, they're not great, but they're earth, but they're definitely pyramids. And then there's the whole snake thing in Ohio. And see, you need to start with Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix.
I don't know if I don't know if my little brain can handle this.
It is fascinating. And the guy, I think his name is Graham Norton. He's been on Joe Rogan a bunch, but there's
the British TV show host.
No, yeah, it's not Graham Norton. It's Graham something. I'll think of it in a second. But watch Ancient Apocalypse. It really is. It's a fascinating watch. Even if you don't believe a thing of it, you'll at least learn a little more history than you probably knew now. No.
I might do that, but it also feels like a Pandora's box type situation.
No, again, I struggle with moderation. So once I get into something, I'm going to try to soak it all in. You don't have that problem as much. But Ancient Apocalypse is a fascinating show. Just for the different places they take you around the world and how it was built. I mean, some of the temples in Indonesia and I forget the country. Anyways, all over the world. It's fascinating.
Gotcha. It's interesting to think that two influences in my life really want me to watch documentaries. One is you, and the other is my mom. Like, she's been on me trying to get me to watch this octopus documentary for over a year.
The one about the friendship between the guy and the octopus?
I guess.
I've never really gotten it. I've been meaning to watch that one. I forgot the name of it. But octopi?
Octopussies.
Octopussies are incredibly intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and maybe that's why my mom wants me to watch it. She said it was fascinating. She loved it. And then not long after that, you came to visit and you're like, oh, you got to watch this documentary. You got to watch this documentary. I'm like, I used to actually watch the History Channel when it was about history because I liked that. I like watching that stuff. But I haven't gone all the way down the rabbit hole that you have. I have a tendency to focus more on things that are a lot more surface oriented. Maybe it's because I dealt with so much crap for a handful of years. I'm trying to lean in on more lighthearted things. In
fairness to me, one of the reasons why I have always had a fascination with Egyptian archaeology is I got to see the King Tut exhibit when it first came through in like 1980. It was at the Dallas Museum of Art. And I had, my grandmother took me, bought books and everything else. So that's what kind of sparked my interest in the subject.
This is interesting. I'm starting to realize something both fascinating and terrifying. Are you ready, Trey?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Documentaries, history, and I'm trying to think how to phrase this for you, and not just for you, but for me as well. So, your interests, documentaries, history, and watching TV are very similar to someone else in my life, and that other person in my life is my mom. And so I am now starting to think that perhaps you might be one another's soulmate. And I will tell you this, Trey. I have known no crazier woman in my life than my mother. You guys might be meant for one another. You can sit and watch documentaries about ancient civilizations and go crazy on each other until one of you is murdered by the other one. And you know what, Trey? I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm okay with it. It feels weird to say it. It feels weird to think it, but I think I would endorse this.
You know, Dan, there would have to be I think you're now at this point trying to pawn your mom off on me, and which, if you want to break from that crazy, I'll swap you.
We're not swapping moms. No,
we can start a whole new reality TV show, Mom Swap.
I don't want my name anywhere near that. I'm honestly a little bit worried about you that you even said that out loud compared to what I said.
Nothing, just dealing with the old and crazy.
Yeah. Although it would make a good T-shirt. With just the quote, you want to swap moms.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Let's get Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing into the Treehouse now. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, give her and all of them there a call. 214-368-3838. The website, brooksplumbingtexas.com. When I had my house in Dallas, Jacqueline, you came out a few times to help us with some issues, and your response time was phenomenal. And it wasn't just because it was me. It was because that's the kind of company you run. You go out of your way trying to help every client and try to get there as soon as you can.
Well, I mean, the reality of it is that plumbing is unfortunately a need and not so much a want. Yes, you can want to remodel the bathroom and that's not pressing, but typically when it comes to service or leak investigations, et cetera, if you've got a stoppage on the main line and you don't know and you keep putting liquid or, waste into the drains, if it has nowhere to go, it will come back in the house. And at that point in time, it's no longer a want, it's a need. And that sort of thing can't wait. When you have those emergencies, you have got to figure out how to manage the crew so that you can have the best response time.
That's right. And they'll show up and they'll do it quickly. Call Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing for any and all of those plumbing wants and needs. 214-368-3838. And again, that website, brooksplumbingtexas.com.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. For your free roof inspection, give Daniel Cook a call. 833-COOK-DFW. That's 833-COOK-DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. In addition to the free roof inspection, they'll come out to your house once a year for free. Just walk the whole property. Take a look at anything and everything around your house that may need some addressing or even some ideas if you want to do some work on the site. They can help you out at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. Again, the website, cookdfw.com. Well, I don't know if there's any way to truly come back from trying to get you, Trey, to date my mom. Okay, let me clarify this. I'm not saying I want you to date my mom. I'm just saying that you guys might be really good for one another.
I just go back to the old.
That's all you have to say. There's really nothing else that needs to be said.
Yeah.
and yet it says everything.
The Jack Nicholson line of, go sell crazy somewhere else. I'm all stocked up here.
I thought you were going for the line in As Good as It Gets. Like, you're going to go to dinner with my mom and tell her, you make me want to be a better man.
No, but that's all from the same movie, I believe. And then my other favorite line of, how do you write women so well? Take away reason and accountability. Take a man.
You take a man. That's a movie that deserves a rewatch. It's been a while since I've seen it. And that was the man. He had some as the olds would say, he had some real humdingers in that movie.
He did. That was.
You take a man,
take away reason,
you remove reason and accountability, and you're left with Trey's idea for a fun Friday night. Uh-huh. All right, today is Friday, May 17th, 2024. Before we can get into the rest of the show, which will include things like anti-sex beds. Road rage is out, but sidewalk rage is in, and bodies piling up in Florida. We must first get to birthdays. So, celebrating birthdays today on Friday, May 17th, 2024. We will begin with Levin Rambin. Do not know her name as a person, but she is 34 today. I do know her as Glimmer in the first Hunger Games movie. Trey, I don't know if you saw any of the Hunger Games movies, but for those that have, she is the one that Katniss kills with the Tracker Jackers in the first movie.
Okay.
So
I did. I have actually seen the Hunger Games movies. I did not see the new prequel one, but
I highly recommend it. It was actually
really?
really, really good. Yeah, Tara and I went to the theater and saw that one. That was a lot of fun. So anyway, she is 34 today. Other birthdays today. Where'd I put it? We've got Derek Huff from Dancing with the Stars. He is 39. He actually has won the show 6 times with here are his dance partners. Okay. So it's not a bad day at work for him. Brooke Burke, Nicole Scherzinger, Jennifer Gray, Kelly Pickler, Amber Riley from Glee, and Bendy Irwin, which was Crocodile Hunter Steve Irwin's daughter.
And he probably banged at least 3 of them.
Yep.
That's
really wow.
all the while being in the shadow of your hotter sister.
Yeah, I think that should have been the alternate title of Dancing with the Stars is Banging the Stars.
Yeah. Wasn't that, but aren't they are they twins?
Oh, Derek Huff and his sister? I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
If they, you know what? I'm going to assume that they're not, because if they were, then her birthday would be next on my list.
Yeah, that's true.
Retired NBA star Tony Parker is 42.
Oh, Frenchie.
Mm-hmm. Trey, you want to do a quick degrees of Kevin Bacon game to
sure.
Tony Parker? All right, here we go. So okay. You want to try it? Go for it.
Oh, all right. Kevin Bacon.
Link yourself. Actually, take out the Kevin Bacon thing. Link yourself to Tony Parker in as few steps as you could imagine. Because I call it doing the Kevin Bacon game, but it's for yourself with certain celebrities.
I mean, I'm sure I've met someone who's met Eva Longoria that would give Tony Parker to.
It's actually a very short path to get you, Trey, to Tony Parker via Eva Longoria. So if I told you at the start of today, you would have your odds of meeting Eva Longoria would be better than Tony Parker. Would you have believed me? Say no, it helps.
No.
Okay, thank you. So to get you to Tony Parker via Eva Longoria, you, Trey, know Tone Bell, our buddy Tone. And Tone was in a movie with Eva Longoria, who was married to Tony Parker. Okay. See, these games are really easy now that we have someone that's actually successful in Hollywood. Yeah. They're all only like one step away. Which, by the way, did you see that photo Tone posted the other day after the Netflix is a Joke festival? Oh my God. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. So they do at the end of the Netflix is a Joke Festival, they do sort of a yearbook photo of all the comedians that performed in all these various shows. It's a comedy festival in LA, right? And Tone on his Instagram page, and probably all of his pages, posted the photo of him because he participated in the Netflix is a Joke Festival. All the comedians that had performed, and he's in the middle of all these comedians, right? And I can show you the photo. It's going to be difficult to show all of them because he decided he did a Where's Waldo. He wears Waldo himself. So in this photo at this house somewhere in LA, in a pool, you've got Bert Kreischer in the pool, shirtless. But then surrounded, when you find Tone and then you find all the people in this photo, you've got people like Sinbad, Jim Gaffigan, Judd Apatow. But hang on, I swiped too far. Let's see. I got to swipe again.
Is that Bert Kreischer is this the one like he's shirtless in the pool?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
Then you've also got, oh man, some of these people I can't even recall their names, but I recognize all their faces. Roastmaster General Jeffrey Ross is in there. I believe that's that might be Dave Chappelle. You've also got Jon Stewart is in there. Basically, he's surrounded by a ton of famous people, and our buddy Tone's in the middle of it. So if you ever want to do the Kevin Bacon game with yourself, all you got to do is just name drop Tone, and you're good now. That is,
I got to put my glasses on to really study that picture, but damn, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That would be.
Hey, there's Pauly Shore, so it's not all A-listers.
I'd be curious to ask Tone because for me, like, it seems like that would be like a pinch yourself moment of, holy shit.
Oh, absolutely. And he even put that in the caption. He said, straight up bucket list moment for me. It's too much funny in this class of 24 yearbook photo to possibly tag everyone. But if you see him, tag him in the comments. Chelsea Handler, Sebastian Maniscalco's in there. I mean, it really is a who's who of comedians and stars. And then there's the guy we know in the middle of all of it. And occasionally he hangs out with us.
We hope.
He did a couple of weeks ago. After this photo, he may not anymore. He's like, why am I hanging out with you? Yeah. Idiots. Other birthdays today inside the Treehouse. Jordan Knight. You ready to feel old, Trey?
Okay.
The good-looking one from New Kids on the Block. He is 54 today. And separated by only 5 years. Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails is 59. It's just weird to me to think that Jordan Knight and Trent Reznor, you might see them at an early bird special somewhere. Because maybe they also are ARP members.
Jordan Knight, because New Kids still tour, I think. I've at least seen some videos with all of them. And
Trey, it's a fine line between touring and panhandling.
Well, I was reading one thing talking about that they were like, the crowd has retired Justin Timberlake because I guess his last tour just bombed.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's incredibly talented, but I didn't even know he'd had a tour recently. So,
well, hell, like the recent tours that have been on my radar, if it's not that, and I say my radar, like it's just been
Taylor
hitting
Swift.
my eyeballs. It's either Taylor Swift, Beyonce, or I know that Kenny Chesney's on tour right now. That's about all I see. So it's like, if not one of the, if you're not making $1 billion in your tour, then I guess they're all a flop.
Yeah, it's like there's Taylor Swift and then kind of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess she just wrapped up I was reading that she wrapped up her Eras tour in Paris, and there was a lot of love signs between her and Travis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I also heard that at one of the Paris shows, someone took a photo of one of the concert goers' baby on the floor of the concert.
Ugh. Well, there's that.
They had earmuffs on.
Yeah.
So Trent Reznor, 59. Enya is 63. Sugar Ray Leonard is 68. And if I remember correctly, Fort Worth's own Bill Paxton. Today is his birthday, but he had his life cut way too short all the way back in 2017. Bill Paxton, one of the greatest character actors of all time in Hollywood. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of some of the films that he was in. And he was memorable in all of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
Terminator. Weird Science. Remember, he played Chet?
Yeah, that's where I remember seeing Bill Paxton.
Yeah, he was phenomenal in that. Aliens, of course. True Lies. I got a little dick. It's pathetic. Apollo 13. Twister, which the remake comes out later this year, I believe.
Which I saw the trailer for it. It looks solid.
You did?
Yeah. Twisters. But yeah, I didn't know how they were going to do it, but it looks really good.
I have to look that up. I don't think I've seen that yet. He was also in Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
Tombstone, of course, as one of the Earp brothers.
Yep.
And he was also in Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow is one of those movies that if you haven't seen it, I try to tell people you should see it. Even if you hate Tom Cruise, it's one of his best movies. It's the one with him and Emily Blunt, and he gets stuck in a time loop in a war/battle with aliens.
I think I started that movie and I don't think I finished it.
You should.
All right.
Unless, of course, you hated it so much you didn't want to finish it. But
I don't.
It's one of those movies that, to me, it's like I said, to me, it's one of his best films.
Yeah. I will put it on my list.
All right, very cool. Trey, I'm going to let you choose your own adventure here.
All right.
Anti-sex beds or sidewalk rage?
I'll go with anti-sex beds. I'm curious about them.
Anti-sex beds it is. Stop it, you stupid pop-ups. Dismiss. Go away, New York Post. Anti-sex beds have arrived in Paris for the Olympics after horny athletes admitted to orgies amid competition.
Okay.
Now that the Olympics are staggered between Winter and Summer Olympics every 2 years, every couple of years, these stories pop up where you hear about all the sex that happens between athletes in different nations because they've all been abstaining or whatever. They've been, hardcore training for all their events. And you get all these young, really healthy, fit people in one small area, and they all start hooking up either before competitions, maybe during in some people's cases, but definitely after their competitions are done. They just go crazy in the athletes' village, and Paris is trying to get ahead of it.
Which, if you think beds are the only place they're doing it, then you haven't read some of the stories I've read.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the pole vault this year is going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, I remember. I guess it was all the way back in when Atlanta had the Olympics in what was that, 96?
Yep.
Of reading about that, especially I forgot who it was, but one of the athletes, that competed and finished early, and there was a story written about it, and he just talked about it was a free for all. That especially once they're done, it's like and they have all they're all of the same mindset, because Olympic sports are different in that most of them are not very commercial, and so you've dedicated your whole entire life 24/7 365 to competing, and then when you're done, it's like you've got a lot of pin-up things, and both the guys and girls, and they said it's almost as easy. You want to? Yeah. All right.
You hot, I'm hot. Let's do this. Anti-sex beds have arrived in Paris ahead of the 2024 Olympic Games with their materials and small size allegedly aimed at deterring athletes from getting kinky during competition. The bed's twin size means there's no room for the competitors to sidle up together. How many people do you know do it side by side? The beds are manufactured by Airweave, which also made the products for the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo. So this is not a new thing that they're trying to deter the athletes. Sustainability is cited as the primary reason why Olympic officials opted for the beds this year. The mattresses and cardboard frames, 100% recyclable. But it's unlikely cardboard beds will stop the horny Olympians from fornicating, with one competitor claiming a hot tub orgy took place at one Olympics. And another news outlet cited a U.S. two-time gold medalist as saying, quote, "I've seen people having sex right out in the open, on the grass, between buildings. People are getting down and dirty." They
put 55-gallon drums full of condoms in the Olympic Village, and it goes empty. They have to refill it.
Where's the medal ceremony for that event? That's like your national anthem deserves to be played, and everyone needs to see that you got the gold and silver and bronze. like Michael Phelps, I think, has the record for the most medals, but it's like, okay, well, who's the Wilt Chamberlain of the Olympics? That's a stat I think we need to know.
Being that he competed in 4 or 5, he may have the record.
You know, I don't think so. Okay, as far as number of Olympics, I'm sure that he had his turns, but because of the swimming stuff, they do those events, and he did so many of them. He was competing throughout the Olympics.
Yeah, you're right.
He may not have had time to really enjoy all the fruits of the Olympic Village. I think the person that you need to take a look at as far as who might have bedded the most fellow Olympians is going to be someone from the guy that walked in shirtless, covered in oil. Was that the Tongan from a couple of Olympics back? That guy, because I don't think he medaled. He had one competition, no medal, so he had plenty of free time, and he made an impact at the opening ceremony. I'm going to bet that guy is the champion.
Yeah, or just whoever competes in the sport that finishes like they do the first part of the Olympics. Yeah, whether it's like a sprinter or diver or something, and they're just hanging out for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And that guy came ready. He came already oiled up and half dressed.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of The Treehouse is brought to you by our good friends at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. Give them a call for your free roof inspection and free property walkabout. That number, 833-COOK-DFW, 833-COOK-DFW, the website, cookdfw.com. Also, I'd like to make a quick mention. If you are watching, I appreciate that. If you are listening, also appreciate it. But specifically, if you're watching, over my shoulder, you may see the television behind me, which is currently on the internet. Some people don't realize you can actually use the internet on your television. It's a pain in the ass for most people, but it's there. Anyway, over my shoulder, you can actually see the very new treehouseonair.com website. It's very handy. It's very flashy. Right there on the homepage is a player that you can immediately start listening to the latest episode of the show. Makes it very, very simple for you to not only listen to the show, but also to share it with a friend. So we would appreciate you doing that. treehouseonair.com. And if you don't want to listen on that player right there, there's a whole bunch of little icons beneath it of all the places that you can listen to the show, including the big three, Spotify, Apple, and iHeart. So do all those things. Listen to the show, share it. We appreciate it. Now, I posted the other day, I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but our group chat between me, you, Trey, and you, Raj, is entertaining. It's a show within a show, just in text form, right? Mm-hmm. And so the reason why I bring this up is because the other day, before even we were talking about my Bruce Lee gif and Trey with jokes, because my power was out, and he sends a YouTube link to the song I Have the Power by Snap. Before all that exchange happened was one night, I can't remember if it was you, Trey, or you, Raj, in our group text had taken a screenshot of your television to a little program on one of the ESPN channels called Slippery Stairs.
That was me.
I thought so. So I purposely did not click on this. One, because I thought, let me bring it up on the show and maybe have a genuine reaction to it. And two, because I didn't want to get sucked into what I thought was you pulling a hose job on me and Raj, trying to convince us that something as stupid as Slippery Stairs was actually airing on ESPN. Mm-hmm. So that's where I am currently. Is it real?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they do the Ocho, that they come up with new and inventive things, and I'm embarrassed to say that I watched about 5 minutes of Slippery Stairs, and
it's your fault, Trey. It is your fault. We can no longer have good ESPN shows and or talent. They keep laying them off because they're so talented, and they're clouding the airwaves for things like Slippery Stairs.
Yeah, and when one of the guys said, he'd been training for this his whole life because he lived in a 3-story house.
Did he underestimate his opponent? Because the guy that walks out says, well, I grew up in a 3-story house with a basement. So does
an attic. I don't know how you get that gig, right? Like how you get like the color commentary for Slippery Stairs.
Yeah, because typically the color commentator is the person that has played the sport.
Correct.
And knows a lot about the sport, so you can then give that essential commentary to those of us that are less familiar with the sport we're watching.
First of all, let me say, Raj, I'm disappointed you missed this one. Slippery Stairs is a wider sport than mountain climbing.
I don't know. It sounds a little Japanese game showy.
It kind of does.
It's right up there with that MXP or whatever the show was, where you'd have 3 doors or 4 doors, and one or two of them. Actually, I think if you had 3 doors in front of you, you had to pick which one to run through at full speed. 2 of them had paper, and one of them had like a brick wall behind it.
I think if it was a Japanese show, that the difference is they'd be throwing things down the stairs at you.
Okay, yeah. That's fair. All
right. This is the white show, so they give you a chance.
Yeah.
Raj, did you ever
win?
This just needed a marshmallow sponsorship.
This is brought to you by Swiss Miss.
Raj, did you ever watch the AB show?
No, that's too brown.
It can't be sponsored by Coco.
Raj, did you ever watch the show Wipeout and think, why didn't they just call it Whiteout?
Again, you help me with this so much. I appreciate that you do this, because I've had listeners go, you do a lot of race stuff, and I'm like, you guys do. I don't.
We serve it up.
Yeah. Wipeout is a white person sport, or whatever that. It's a white person show.
I love that show.
Yeah, of course you do. Just like you like staying in Airbnbs. Like it's the same thing. There's the same level of of extreme possibility. Like you can be on Wipeout and get hit by whatever that wand thing is, or you can stay in Airbnb and get hit by one of those wand things, whatever that is. Like it's the
well,
same
I mean,
level.
look, Wipeout is just American Ninja without any of the possibility of winning.
Yes, or a ninja. Like just call it American people falling down. That's what Slippery Stairs is. It's the same.
Thank you for bringing it back to Slippery Stairs. So Trey, Slippery Stairs. Is it a sport or is it just
sure?
How do you win Slippery Stairs? I'm pretty sure I got the handle on how you lose.
You get to the top of the stairs.
So it's basically,
although it's very slippery. That's,
so it's
you look like
basically
an oiled pig.
You say an oiled pig? Is that what you said? Okay, that's another. I think that's another white sport. Or
like, you know, they just everyone took a bath in KY and then tried to, you know, climb the stairs.
So it's King of the Mountain with lube.
Yeah.
And stairs. Okay.
It's Astroglide with stairs. That's what it is.
I mean, we just rattled off a handful of really obvious sponsorship opportunities that if ESPN is not taking advantage of, their people need to be fired.
I don't know how. I mean,
how do you not have the Astroglide 200?
I don't know how cornhole isn't sponsored by Astroglide.
Look, there's a very popular spot on St. Thomas, very historic, called 99 Steps. They could do this like Grand Prix does, like the F1 does, and go around different famous steps around the world. The Great Wall of China. Hello.
Yeah. And Raj, Astroglide missed out on cornhole because Johnsonville we got their meat sponsorship.
Explain Bush's baked beans. I don't know how that works with cornhole, but they seem to sponsor. Also,
I'll tell you why, Raj, because the cornhole board is very reminiscent of a porta potty. I mean, that's where if you eat enough Bush's baked beans, you're going to squat over the cornhole.
Yes, that makes sense now.
Meanwhile, Johnsonville saw a hole and figured their bratwurst would be perfect to fit it.
And there was no lube, like, hey, we need to lube up this brat to put it in. I don't know. I just know that there's a guy that plays cornhole that has no arms, and if you can do that sport
and no legs,
he's sponsored. I'm like, okay, that's a white people sport. Do you have no arms?
Somehow I have missed the stump man.
You have the internet behind you on your TV. Just very quickly.
Yeah, so there's a stump man that is professional.
No arms, no legs. Yes.
In the cornhole league. I've told you guys before that Arnold Schwarzenegger's bastard son is also pro in that league.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's they
is he the one that really looks like Arnold?
Yeah, he's the one that looks exactly like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Got it on with his homely maid. And instead of getting into the family business of either politics from the Kennedys, well, no, he couldn't do politics on the Kennedy side because that wasn't his mom. Instead of getting into the movie business, or I guess he could have gone politics, and that's what Arnold did. Was governor of California. So instead, he's blazing his own path to
cornholery.
Stardom. Yes.
You can check your phones.
Oh, good. We're adding more fun to our group chat. Quadruple amputee and ACL pro Dayton Weber is an unstoppable cornhole player. I give up.
He is unstoppable, guys.
Is he unstoppable? Really?
He's very stoppable.
I can think of it. I think, you know what? How good would he be on Slippery Stairs?
He wins. You know that.
He'd be the best in that too, wouldn't he? It's hard to slip on slippery stairs if you got no legs.
I don't know how you get to the top with no arms, but goddamn, I'd watch it.
It's a lot of gumption, Raj.
I'm the determination alone. I would watch that man try to go up slippery.
Well,
stairs.
it's either a lot of determination or you get Arnold Schwarzenegger's bastard son to put you in a papoose. And you
It's a baby Bjorn.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Get you in the baby Bjorn, take you to the top.
So you both fall at the same time. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very much a you go, we go situation. Raj, I'm glad you laughed at that because I said that punchline specifically for Trey's benefit.
I just got it.
I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go outside and throw myself down my stairs.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
We need to discuss something a little more topical that I thought was just a made-up thing. I didn't realize this was real. That happened just a handful of days ago, and that is the right in the butt puzzle on Wheel of Fortune. I saw this when I was scrolling social media, and I just thought it was like just someone playing with an AI video or just creating something out of nothing. But Raj, you swear this happened?
It did happen in a few days ago, and it's kind of gone viral. It's going to go more. I don't know how you'll more viral, but it's on its way to being legendary to what happened on Wheel
Trey,
of
did
Fortune.
you see this?
I thought it was a joke. Like I thought it was like the South Park Wheel of Fortune.
I was thinking the same thing, Trey.
I forgot about that. That's
how do you forget about that? That's one of the best ones.
I mean, I haven't. There's that one. But there's also. Do you remember the what was it? Not dating. The wedding thing with Bob Eubanks. What was it? Where the
Newlyweds.
The Newlyweds
in the butt. The Newlywed Game.
Oh yeah. That's a classic. Yeah,
that's a classic. And then
where she responds. Yep. Okay. Hang on, you guys keep talking. I'm pulling up fun videos here.
The South Park video is still the thing. The camera guy just going.
That is, I think, I'm with you. I think that is my favorite part.
And there's also the uncensored version of that one, which is I can't believe they released it, but there's the uncensored version.
Oh yeah.
When it happens and everybody gets quiet. Oh yeah, that was pretty fantastic. But this one, in this day and age, that's your first guess. You didn't want to buy a vowel at all. Yeah, so you can. I think it's TMZ has the story and the video, so we can pull up that because, I mean, just a brilliant answer. I mean, you're that guy forever now. It doesn't matter where you go. You're the right in the butt. That's who you are now.
All right, let's see here. This Wheel of Fortune contestant getting major props for not winning big, but he did lose in spectacular fashion with a guess that you just got to see to believe. So thank you very much there, TMZ. It really is one of those things where it's like I'm with Trey. I thought it was a joke initially. I really did. Thank you, TMZ. Phrase. Okay, so this is the first time, full disclosure, this is the first time I've actually seen this and heard this. So the puzzle clue is phrase, which isn't everything on Wheel of Fortune, a phrase. So then they're doing, I have not watched a whole episode of Wheel of Fortune in years. So they're doing, it's like a fast version where instead of spinning the wheel and guessing the letters, they're just revealing themselves one after another in quick succession. And I guess the first person to buzz in and guess correctly wins.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
The lightning round.
Lightning round. Got it. Okay, here we go. So they start out with an exclamation point at the very end, and then a T, and then some other letters. I, E.
Tomorrow.
All right. I can see where so Tavares here buzzes in, and there's 4 blank tiles. Then the second word is 2 tiles. With it, the first tile has an I lit up. Then the next word is 3 tiles with a T, a blank, and an E. And the fourth word is a B, a blank, a T, and an exclamation point. I certainly see how this happened. Yeah, I can. But you don't say it. There's no way that. Okay, I'll just let it go.
Tavares, right in the butt.
What?
No.
So the other 2 contestants. So you've got Tavares in the one hole. You've got what looks to be blonde hair, white lady Blake in the 2 hole, and bringing up the rear is an older black lady, and she's the one that you hear go, "What?" Meanwhile, the white chick in the middle, probably the first time for her, she seems to be taking this in stride.
Tavares, right in the butt.
What?
No.
Pat saying
that is
no. Yeah. This is interesting. So the black lady on the end, she's shocked. What? Look at Blake's reaction in the middle here again. All she does is she just kind of smiles, and then she does a quick little side eye look over to Tavares, go like,
What?
Did you see it?
Yeah.
One more time. Here you go. Keep an eye on Blake in the middle.
Tavares, right in the butt.
See, now her reaction doesn't change much. She's already smiling, and then she just looks over and goes, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
Of course she thinks it is.
But he says right, and there's only 4 tiles in the first
Yeah,
word.
not only was that nowhere near the actual phrase that they were looking for, but it doesn't even match the proper number of tiles.
Yes, so he was 1 tile off, but
what it really seemed to me is this is a classic example of him having a phrase in his mind already that he was trying to force into this one.
He was looking at Maggie Sajak off stage.
Who?
Pat's daughter is smoking hot.
Really?
Yes.
Pat Sajak's daughter.
Maggie
You said
Sajak.
Maggie Sajak. Let's see this. I gotta look it up. You guys talk amongst yourself.
Yeah,
I gotta see what the Sajak is producing.
It's
oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah. Well done.
Yes, Pat obviously has some good genes. Or I don't know what his wife looks like, but
I don't either. I didn't know he was married. It's just not.
You just thought he was married to Wheel of Fortune?
Yes.
You know what? His daughter looks like he and Vanna had a baby.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then in that case,
hotter.
Pat is not a believer of right in the butt.
Well, yeah, that's I don't know.
But it does make us think back to other times. Oh, is that her? Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely a Pat Sajak, Vanna White baby.
Well, hang on. Let me. I'm gonna type Pat Sajak's wife.
Yeah.
Hang on, because I want to see what she looks like to see if it's even possible that could be their kid. Well, this is actually kind of difficult because I guess he's on his second wife. The first one passed away in '86.
Yeah, Maggie would be. She's probably in her 20s. So it'd be the second wife.
Okay, Cheryl. I guess they divorced in 1986. She's blonde. Okay. So they broke up in 86. So you think this is going to be the second wife, Trey?
Yeah.
So that would be Leslie Brown. Yeah, no. Maggie Sajak is very much, I think, the love child of Vanna White and Pat Sajak. After seeing what Leslie Brown, Pat Sajak's current wife, looks like.
Yeah. But well done. I mean, that's she's a smoke show. Good Lord, yeah. And she works for the show, so come on.
Oh, well, yeah.
She went to
if
law
you had a
school,
daughter
I
that
think.
looked like that, wouldn't you want to keep an eye on her, Raj?
Yes.
Especially when you've got contestants running around. Actually, maybe the set of Wheel of Fortune is not a good spot when you got contestants throwing out things like in the butt on puzzles.
Right in the butt. that's your go-to answer. Right in the butt. You thought, okay, my question is this: what if he was right?
Then I think Wheel of Fortune would have taken a Family Feud with Steve Harvey turn, where like they're doing sorts of things on purpose.
Yeah, but what if it was like right in the butt? And they're like, you're the winner.
Yeah, not only does he win the puzzle, but he wins Blake.
But definitely not the lady on the other end. She is not having it in the butt.
No, she doesn't want any of that. Speaking of in the butt, this from the Newlywed Game many, many years ago.
70s.
Is the weirdest place that you personally, girls, have ever gotten the urge to make whoopee? The weirdest place, Olga?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Olga?
In the ass?
No, the weirdest location.
Yeah. I think it's still, here's the problem with that. I think it's still a location.
Well, it is a location, but back then location was a little more of a fluid term. It's not like today where you go to Google and drop a pin in it. And then obviously not
no
to be
check-ins.
Olga is in the ass.
Yeah, but what do the reviews have to say?
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. And now I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free and each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse brought to you by our friends at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. For your free roof inspection and property walkabout, give them a call at 833-COOK-DFW. 833-COOK-DFW, the website cookdfw.com to see all the great work they do, not only on top of the house, but inside it and even around it. 833-COOK-DFW, the website again, cookdfw.com. Coming off of the In the Butt on Wheel of Fortune and in the ass on the Newlywed Game back in the 70s, which is not an isolated incident, by the way. There was another one that I was trying to find where it's the blonde chick where she says, I believe it's in the butt, Bob. So that is not an isolated incident on the Newlywed Game. This is the first I've seen it on Wheel of Fortune. So good for them for getting into pop culture again. But we went into that last break talking about, okay, well, where, what are the locations for that? And then what are the reviews like? And then, Trey, I think you brought up Yelp, and I think Yelp is the proper place that you bring up reviews for the butt sex.
Yeah.
That's probably why you don't see as many on Google, but you'll definitely find the butt sex reviews on Yelp.
I just like the fact that she says, in the butt, Bob. Like the answer is going to be right. Like at any
to her
point,
it is, Raj. To her it is.
Yeah, I know,
look, the only that was not an issue. Her answer wasn't so much an issue, except for the fact that her answer has to match what the husband's card said.
Yeah.
He said in the car, but
yeah.
She may have been correct. Maybe it was in the butt in the car, but she went too specific and the husband went too broad. So as long as their answers matched, they would have had to have awarded them those points.
Yes. And again, it goes to the right in the butt Wheel of Fortune thing. If they would have been like, ding, you got it, man. That was a winning answer. But
I think that would have been the moment where Pat Sajak does flip the card and walk off and go, that's it, I'm retiring.
It's Ryan Seacrest now. But yeah, that's the now he's the right in the butt guy for the rest of his life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta suck. Like everywhere you go, it's like, hey man, right in the butt, and it's like, yeah, I got it. I messed up. Okay.
You got to lean into it, like make a shirt out of it.
well, Trey's gonna say something right there. And you do want to lean into it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Merchandising.
Capitalized.
You're the right in the butt t-shirt guy. Then you got to be the guy that makes the t-shirts for the right in the butt guy. Look, it just never ends.
I think you can just order that through Vistaprint. So before we can move on into any of the aliens or the moose babies or the other thing I'm going to mention to you that I witnessed over the last couple of days, let's just get this out of the way so we can get it out of our system, because we've all been thinking it as soon as we mentioned Wheel of Fortune and bad guesses. So here we go. Let's go with the classic South Park Wheel of Fortune.
And oh, please. Okay, well, looks like you're going to get a lot of help here. Category is people who annoy you.
And on the shows N, a blank, a G, an E, an R, and an S. And the clue is people who annoy you.
Please. Okay, well, looks like you're going to get a lot of help here. Category is people who annoy you.
Looks like you're going to get a lot of help here.
So when they cut to the audience, everyone, all their faces are just aghast, like, oh my God, what's he going to say? And then just a little bit in the foreground, the camera operator leads into the frame, And he's a black man who does not look as aghast as most of the members of the audience do. Because if you notice in the audience, all the white people are going, but if you look in the background, there are two people of color who also look like they have pre-anger faces on, similar to the camera operator. But that is absolutely the best part, is when that camera operator leans in, like, what are you about to say?
One of the best parts in the beginning is it's like, you're going to get a lot of help here.
Oh.
10 seconds, Mr. Marsh.
I know it, but I don't think I should say it. All right, I'd like to solve the puzzle.
And then Vanna just slowly pulls the tile back, revealing an A.
I love that you found the uncensored version. I don't think they have that up anymore.
I guess they do have the uncensored version up. Because I'm with you, Raj. Most of the time when I pull this up on YouTube, it's the bleeped version.
Yeah.
And now I'm wondering, maybe I should bleep this.
Well, it was nice working with you guys. I didn't know this was our last show.
Hey, look, anytime we get a snort out of Trey, I'll take it. I don't care what word had to be used beforehand to get it, as long as I wasn't the one that used it.
Can you imagine being the voice actor that had to do that?
I believe it's either
Trey Parker
or Matt Stone. Yeah, it's one of them. I think at that point you got to deliver that line.
Yeah, it got him 900.
You don't outsource that line to somebody else.
They cashed that in for $900 million, I think.
It goes back again to when I go, what if they went, that's correct?
And that camera operator would have had a different reaction.
That would have been the last Wheel of Fortune episode. Yeah, that's one of the greatest moments in cartoon history, or just in television history. I know the answer, but I don't want to say it. Oh, you guys are killing me today. Okay. Yeah. When I start having a panic attack again, I'm going to listen to this episode because it'll take it all the way. It's so good.
That's it. Raj, that'll solve your panic attack. If I was having one and did that.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.